Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this World of Warcraft raiding guide. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the 10-man heroic mode version of Morchok in the Dragon Soul raid. In order to complete this fight, we used 2 tanks, 4 healers and 4 DPS. As always, for the first half of this video, we're going to be taking a look at the list of abilities that this boss has. If you wish to skip to the tactics section of this video at any point, please do feel free to click on the annotation that will be in the top hand left of your screen. For the purpose of this video, and because I don't really know how to pronounce his name, the boss's main ability is going to be called Kumquat. At 90% health, Morchok will split himself into 2, forming his new boss buddy, Kumquat. These 2 bosses will share the same health pool, which on 10-man mode is 21 million health, and Kumquat will cast exactly the same spells as Morchok, but a few seconds later. Just like on the normal mode version of this encounter, the boss will still have his Stomp ability and will split 750,000 damage between all players that are standing within 25 yards. However, in heroic difficulty, the boss will place a debuff on anyone that is affected by this damage, which will increase their physical damage taken by 100% for 10 seconds. Just like in the normal mode version of this encounter, the boss's final 5 abilities are exactly the same. When the boss reaches 20% remaining health, he will increase his attack speed by 30% and his damage inflicted by 20%. Obviously this is going to hurt in line with the debuff that the Stomp ability is putting on you, but we'll also talk about that more later on in the video. And his other 4 abilities, the Earth Consumes You, the Black Blood, the Earth's Vengeance and the Crystals are exactly the same. However, with the Crystals you need to make sure that 3 people are actually soaking the damage from them, and we will also go into this further on later on in the video. Before you actually start the encounter, it's a good idea to split the raid into 2 groups, 2 separate 5-man groups, which consist of 1 tank, 2 healers and 2 DPS. Each group is going to take its own boss when it splits at 90% health. As you can see here, we're just starting the fight like you would on the normal mode, with people spread, well, people around the boss, and one of the melee being the closest person as well as the tank. Then, when the crystal spawns, the group that will be taking Kumquat, which is group 2, will go and soak the first crystal, and then we'll move the 2 bosses as far away as possible from each other. And this is because we don't want people to get 2 stacks of the Stomp debuff, since both the bosses do the same ability. In order to soak the crystal damage, we had both the healers and the ranged DPS from each group move on to the crystal. Since this is heroic difficulty, if you don't go to the crystal, you will just die instantly. It's a one-shot kill, no questions asked. And then, just as in the normal mode, he does the Earthen Vortex ability, you've got to run away from the Black Blood. If you want to make this fight a little bit shorter range, there is a spot behind these where you can just poke out and still damage the boss without getting hit by the blood, so it's a good idea to look for this spot, as any extra damage on the boss will make the fight shorter, and in turn it's a plus for your raid. We also found that it was best if the melee DPS stacked on top of the tank, and in this case we used a Death Knight for Kumquat and a Rogue for Morchok, although it doesn't matter really which is on which, but we found that these 2 are probably one of the better classes for soaking the double damage that the Stomp will give out. And that is pretty much the entire encounter. It's just rinse and repeat from here. We save Time Warp, Bloodlust, Terrorism, those kinds of things until the boss reaches 20% health, because that's when he will get his debuff. However, as you will see in this video, you don't want to keep them too far apart. Like, here is kind of the limit, because when it comes to me actually using Time Warp, Group 2 that are right over there in the distance, as you can see on the video, they don't actually get the buff. So that is something to be very wary of. It's also advised that you do bring some form of AoE healers, like in each group here we have a Resto Druid. And then, as you see, the priest in the other group over there just died. He's throwing his shields onto the, not the tank, but the melee DPS that will be taking a double damage Stomp, just so that they don't take tons and tons of damage. I also believe that the Death Knight was swapping in and out of his blood presence in order to get the extra stamina, and I think it also gives extra armor rating for when the Stomp actually goes off, since it is a physical damage effect. And that is pretty much the entire encounter, as I've said. Like, it's just a rinse and repeat. The bosses, both of them do share a health pool, so it's easily doable with 4 DPS. If we do go for a kill where we have 3 healers, which we most likely will in the future, I'll put up a separate guide for that, because it does seem to be a different fight, really. And that is going to do it for this video guide on the Morchok and Kumquat encounter. So, as always, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, or you feel it's helped you, or it's gotten you a kill, or something along those lines, then do feel free to subscribe for future heroic kill videos, which will be available on the channel, as well as video guides such as this one. Thank you for watching.